Okay, I see that I'm supposed to start going, but my computer is not up now.
Yeah,
Now,
there we
after all
go.
that time, it says you're live. Well, okay. Um, so I don't know if that's the noise from my background. Someone has like cars honking or something.
Not
Anyone
it.
hear? No? Hi,
Is it?
everybody. Okay,
There's
everyone put
definitely a
yourselves on
buzzing.
mute. Put
Yeah, the
yourselves on
buzzing.
Oh, it may be. It may be the landscaper.
mute.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
Kamira.
it was Kamira's landscapers. But look at Kamira all dressed up. Welcome to everybody to Behind the Scenes. And this is our last time together, at least for the immediate future. We're taking a summer break. And we wanted to, first of all, apparently there was a black tie notification that the rest of us didn't get because Kamira looks like she's going to a ball. So glam. And what we're going to talk about today is it's what did we get over the years? It's been 16 years of talking to experts and getting input from other parents and understanding what the struggles are of raising teenagers. And so, like, the list is so long of things that I heard that completely changed how I parented, like really significant changes, and some like little changes that were significant changes, right? Like, I was just talking about Jennifer Wallace, and just maybe you can put her book in the chat. When we had her on our podcast, Jennifer Wallace talked about how the first thing you say when your kid comes home from school lets them know what's important to you. So when they come in the door and you say, "Hey, how'd your test go?" They know that academics is the highest priority in your family. And if that's not the message you wanted to send, then you should think about how you greet them at the door. And that one was like an ouch to me. Like, I felt like I didn't want that to be the message, but I think that's the message I sent because it seems so benign and easy to greet them with, but really maybe not at all. And I would say for me, the very biggest takeaway that is changing, not only changed my relationship with them in high school, but it as adults, it's changed our relationship, I think, really powerfully, is to make the relationship first. And it just kind of changed the way I look at, like, so many people said to us, make sure that they can come to you when they're in a crisis. And if you battle the crisis with them, or I mean, against them, I guess you're in it on the other side, they can't come to you anymore. So that I think has proven to be a great way to have a relationship with my adult children also. When something doesn't go right and my insides want to say, you contributed to this, the words out of my mouth always say, this sucks. And that's it. I don't have to say more than that. And they feel like they've been given a hug and it's enough. They can come back to me. Okay, so now Mindy, share with us.
It's funny thinking about this. I think there are so many. One thing as a mom of all boys that hit me was the articles on puberty. I found that really helpful, what boys are going through, because my boys all got very quiet. And I can remember sitting in the car, them in the front seat next to me, and like not saying a word. And it drove me nuts. Like, what's wrong? What's going on? So that, I think, was really helpful to me. A couple of things. One is we were strict parents, somewhat strict. And it was nice to know there's also many strict parents out there, and their kids are fine. And my kids are fine. So we actually had a conversation just this past weekend. They were up visiting about how they're glad we were strict. They were happy with that. So
and
that
I just want to say, your kids aren't fine. Your kids are great.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Somehow that worked.
No, thank you. But so that was very helpful to me to know there are other moms out there. But I think most importantly was that there are so many ways to parent. There is not one way to parent. That kids are different, families are different, parents are different. And that's why, if you're doing your best, and I think we would say that a lot on comments, if you're doing your best, your kids know you love them. It's okay. Everybody's different. What works for you may not work for me, and that's okay. So I think that was one of my biggest takeaways also, was just many different ways to parent. So, Melissa, Kamira?
Sure, I'll go. Yes, definitely I've learned that there are so many different ways to parent, but also I learned that I wasn't alone in my struggles. I mean, we had a lot going on in my family when my kids were young. I was taking care of both of my parents who were terminal, had terminal illnesses. And so like we didn't do a lot of socializing. Like they had their activities that they went to and stuff, but like the social aspect was missing a lot from our lives. And also we had some like middle school clicking stuff going on, and I wanted to stay the hell away from that because it was just way too painful. But like just even reading the articles, but also the Facebook messages that were going on and the different memes and all the questions that parents asked, and even our Facebook lives when we were talking about stuff, it was really helpful to realize like our struggles were not like isolated. Like parents all over the place, even all over the world, are having the same struggles. And that was just, I don't know, I just felt really reassured, like yeah, you know, we're gonna get through it, it's gonna be okay, you know. So yeah, I really appreciate that factor, the camaraderie and the, yeah, I guess the teamwork.
I'm going to try and find this, but Michelle Eicher just posted one of the best things I've seen about friendship. How do you spell her name? Do you guys know? Is it 1L or 2?
I think it's 1.
Yeah, she's not coming up for me. So she posted a meme. I mean, I think it was just her words. And I'm going to see if hopefully I can find it because I thought it was so brilliant. It was about friendship. And it said, now I can't find it. I'll keep looking for it. But it basically said, it's not about whether we're feeding our kids the wrong goal. Like we tell kids that you need a best friend. That's all you need. You don't need a big group of friends. But even keeping best friends can be so hard. So what does that mean about you if your friendship group breaks up or your best friend breaks up with you? Like, what does that mean for you? And she said something to the effect of, can your kid make friends? It's not about whether they can sustain them forever. And I think that's so great for middle school, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we look at it like a failing of our kids, of us, of everything. And if middle school is so turbulent, marriages break up, like friendships, of course, break up. Anyway, hopefully I'll find it and we'll be able to add it here. But check out Michelle Eichert. It's a great concept. I loved it. Okay, Kamira, you're up.
All right. For me, it is communication. Absolutely everybody always circled back to the value of communication, but not just communicating, which I thought I was doing just fine, but how you communicate. For me, that meant learning to shush and not problem solve. That was, you know, and learning to ask if I really thought that maybe the solution was necessary. Ask if they want a solution. Ask if they want to hear a story about me in the same situation, which almost always got a yes, because they do want to know that they're not alone the same way we want to know that, right, Melissa? So if they want hearing a story about when I was left out because they're having problems being left out, that would be helpful. Having me solve the issue of being left out, not so helpful. They didn't want that. And not when we're communicating, not diminishing, because I have a tendency to diminish, even though I don't mean it. What I'm trying to do is make them feel better, right? But they don't want that. So I learned that how to communicate. The good news is that as long as we're all still here, there's still time, because we are still communicating with them, and they are still going to come to us with issues. They're not going to skate through the rest of their lives just because they hit 20 at some point. So I get a chance to try to implement all this stuff.
You know, along that, just to follow up with what you just said, Kamira, I think when parents, and taking in Melissa's struggle too, especially during the teenage years where you're struggling and there's those fighting and there's that, gosh, you know, the I hate yous, and you just think your kids, you know, you've just totally blown it or lost it, or they do come back around, right? When you talk about time, and they go through that. And I think that's the other thing is, from all of us with older kids, it will be most of the time okay. Like, you're going to go through some really difficult times, but you know what? You hang in there, and I think in the end they come back, which to me is really assuring. And I mean come back as far as relationships and open communication and caring and being a part of the family. they do come back. And
So,
Melissa,
Mindy,
there's someone
I
behind
think
you in your window. I hope that's not a strange person behind you.
Melissa?
where?
No, we're getting mulch done. We haven't had it done in like 5 years. So like, yeah.
Okay.
Mindy, I think you're saying that is based so much about your relationship with your kids, because like any relationship, if you haven't built for the change of being a parent of adult children and you haven't shifted in how you speak with them, it doesn't have to go great. I know that it doesn't go great for everybody. So I think that it goes to your saying, like, my kids are fine. I think your kids are great. But whatever it is, you saw times where they weren't as communicative and now they are. But I mean, it's still hard work. It's not a guarantee.
For sure. And each stage is different. It's not a guarantee, for sure. And it is like, you know, as I think I was basing off what Kamira said, is we still have time. Like, you still have time to fix those relationships, but they mature, I think is what I was saying. They mature, they understand more, I don't know. I just think it's
They might even say thank you.
Maybe. You know what I think, Mindy? I think that so one of my 2023, I'm not one for pronouncements and vision boards and stuff, but I wanted to be aggressively intentional about certain things. And I think that that's what parents have to do. When you notice that there's a change, you have to be aggressively intentional about making that change in your relationship with your kid. Because I've noticed from watching others, everybody hopefully grows and improves and changes when they learn something. But often we don't implement those things at home. We do it on the outside. So we become a better coworker or a better friend, but we don't necessarily change how we relate to our kids. So if we're aggressively intentional about, okay, I learned this about whatever it is we learn. Mindy's favorite, giving them many hugs.
Yeah, Kamira, I want to just jump in and say I totally agree with that. And I think there's a lot of value in being able to say you're sorry to your kids and saying, hey, I want to do better. And this is something I want to try. And I want to have this relationship with you. You know, like having the
or that I messed up. I think along that line. I'm sorry. It's okay to say we made a mistake. I was wrong.
Yep.
I've said that many times.
Yeah, specify.
I've said it when I didn't even think I was wrong.
I've had my kids tell me, I'm like, I want to know. I'm like, this is the first time I'm parenting you. So tell me when I mess up. Tell me when you want something else. Because
that's
I'm
a
winging
great
it.
sentence. That is such a good sentence. It is the first time I'm parenting you. And it's true every single new day.
Yeah.
It's not easy. That's true.
Jess, do you have anything you want to jump in at? Like what you got?
A little bit. I mean, so again, I think my mom in particular was an avid reader of Your Teen Mag back in the day. Like I found a lot of you know, these magazines hidden away in our house. And I mean, I'm definitely not a teenager anymore, but I'm definitely closer to being a teenager than I am to being the parent of a teenager. And I don't know, just this experience has helped me kind of just understand my parents more, come to appreciate more, you know, what they've done, how they've worked, how they've improved on things. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure neither of them are watching this, but good job, Mom, maybe Dad. You don't have a Facebook, but you know.
That's awesome. Yes, and we all here agree that your parents did a good job with you. Good work. Okay, so this was fun. It's always fun when we get together and do this. I'm sure we're all ruminating on all the other, like I'm thinking about all the little tips that came through in articles, like the woman who told her kid to sit in the front seat if she wanted to talk after school and in the back seat if she wanted some silent time. Like little things that really can change how you engage with your kids. Anyway, the website's there. Check it all out.
Riley agrees.
And the dog agrees. So have a great week, everybody. Thanks for being here with us.